Jennifer Lopez may find herself entangled in a deeply troubling legal battle involving her former partner, Sean Diddy Combs, as the disgraced music mogul's highly anticipated sex trafficking trial approaches. The explosive case, already brimming with disturbing allegations and damning evidence, is now set to re-examine a pivotal moment from over 2 decades ago, the infamous 1999 nightclub shooting that rocked the entertainment world and nearly derailed both Diddy and Lo's careers at the height of their fame. At the time, the two were pop culture royalty. Lopez, a rising star transitioning from acting to music, and Diddy, a dominant force in the hip-hop industry, were seen as one of the most glamorous couples in the spotlight. But their night out on December 27, 1999, at Club New York in Manhattan changed everything. Gunfire suddenly erupted inside the packed nightclub, plunging the scene into chaos. When the smoke cleared, 3 people had been shot, including Natania Rubin, who was hit in the face but miraculously survived. In the aftermath, both Lopez and Combs were arrested, the shocking development capturing national headlines and prompting a frenzy of media speculation. While Lopez was quickly released and never formally charged, Combs faced a far more serious legal battle, accused of firing a weapon during the altercation. Eventually, he was acquitted of all charges, including weapons possession and bribery, but the incident left a stain on his legacy and signaled the beginning of numerous legal and personal troubles that would haunt him for years to come. Now, with Diddy facing a slew of charges tied to alleged sex trafficking, racketeering, and prostitution, prosecutors are pushing to reintroduce the 1999 shooting as part of a broader narrative aimed at exposing a long-standing pattern of criminal behavior. Legal filings obtained by Daily Mail. Show Diddy's legal team is scrambling to prevent this, filing motions to keep the infamous nightclub incident out of court proceedings. Their concern is clear: bringing up the Club New York shooting inevitably pulls Jennifer Lopez back into the story. And while Lopez is not accused of any wrongdoing and has long since distanced herself from the situation, her association with Diddy during one of his most notorious moments could complicate her public image and career trajectory. The heart of the defense's argument is a claim that the testimony tied to the 1999 case, especially from individuals like Diddy's former chauffeur Wardell Fenderson, is unreliable and inflammatory. Fenderson, who has alleged that Diddy offered him a $50,000 diamond ring in exchange for taking the fall for the gun found in their car that night, has become a focal point in Diddy's attempt to discredit evidence from the past. Diddy's attorneys described the bribery claim as fantastical, pointing out that the alleged ring was never located and that Fenderson's account has significant inconsistencies. The defense is also working to prevent the jury from seeing other potentially damaging pieces of evidence, including a video that allegedly shows Diddy violently assaulting his former girlfriend, Cassie Ventura. The video, which has circulated in some media circles but has not been publicly authenticated, is being challenged on the grounds that no individual has stepped forward to verify its origin or context. Diddy's legal team argues that the footage, lacking confirmation and possibly prejudicial in nature, has no place in the trial. These legal maneuvers are part of a broader strategy aimed at limiting the scope of the prosecution's case, which seeks to paint a damning picture of a man accused not just of individual acts of violence or misconduct, but of leading a calculated, systemic pattern of exploitation spanning decades. Among the most explosive elements of the prosecution's case is testimony from multiple accusers, including one identified in court documents as Victim 3. Diddy's team is fighting to keep her out of the courtroom altogether, arguing that her inclusion would be too emotionally charged and would unduly influence the jury. They contend that allowing her to testify would be more about provoking outrage than presenting objective facts, a tactic they believe undermines the principles of a fair trial. However, prosecutors appear undeterred, confident that showing a pattern of behavior is key to securing a conviction. The trial, expected to begin with opening statements on May 12 following a week of jury selection, promises to be one of the most closely watched celebrity legal sagas in recent memory. With high-profile witnesses, salacious allegations, and decades-old controversies resurfacing, the courtroom drama will almost certainly dominate headlines for weeks or even months. For Jennifer Lopez, the possibility of her name being invoked in the midst of such chaos is likely an unwelcome reminder of a chapter she thought was long behind her. Though she has worked tirelessly over the years to cultivate an image of professionalism, resilience, and success, Her past association with Diddy during a time of legal turmoil may now come under renewed scrutiny. It is also worth noting how this moment in time, once written off as a relic of hip-hop's volatile early years, is now being reframed by prosecutors as part of a deeper and darker legacy. The government's legal team appears determined to argue that Diddy's misdeeds did not occur in a vacuum but were part of a long-standing pattern of manipulation, violence, and entitlement. They are eager to use every incident, no matter how far removed in time, to paint a comprehensive portrait of who Diddy truly is behind the glitz and glamour. Diddy's attorneys, in turn, accuse the prosecution of attempting to sensationalize the trial by relying on character assassination rather than concrete evidence. In their view, invoking old cases, especially one involving another public figure like Lopez who is not accused of wrongdoing, serves only to distract and inflame. The motions filed by the defense underscore the gravity of what's at stake. With charges that include racketeering, conspiracy, and transportation for prostitution, the legal implications are monumental. But beyond the courtroom, the reputational fallout for those even tangentially connected to Diddy could be severe. The specter of the Club New York shooting, long dormant in the public memory, now looms large once again, threatening to pull Jennifer Lopez into the media maelstrom. For Lopez, who has remained largely silent on the matter since that fateful night, the renewed focus may be a painful reminder of how the past can resurface at the most inopportune times. Her connection to Diddy, however brief or dated, is once again relevant in the court of public opinion. Brings with it not just old headlines but fresh speculation about what she knew, what she saw, and what she experienced. In a broader sense, the case is a stark illustration of how celebrity, power, and justice intersect in the American legal system. It also reveals how the actions of one individual can reverberate far beyond their own life, pulling others into a vortex of scandal and legal jeopardy. As jury selection begins and the trial moves forward, observers will no doubt scrutinize every development, every revelation, and every name that surfaces, especially those like Jennifer Lopez who symbolize a different time, a different Diddy, and a different story altogether. Whether her role remains merely a footnote or becomes something more involved remains to be seen. What is certain, however, is that this trial is poised to become one of the defining legal and cultural moments of the decade, casting a long and unsettling shadow over all who find themselves caught in its glare. Well guys, what are your thoughts? Do tell us in comment section below. Thanks for watching.